Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to our live stream today. Hi. Let's make sure you drop your name in the chat so we can tell that you checked in. Gianna, Sput361. Who is that? Ryan, welcome. Matt. Oh, that's right. Matt, how many YouTube handles do you have? Is that the same as before? Maria, Evan, Jake, hello. Good. Almost said good morning. Good afternoon. All right, just getting an email from one of our fellow classmates. I'm going to reply real quick. How's everyone doing today? Oh, let's back up here. Here we go. There we go. Sweet Delio. Braden J. Kamak. We get the full name today. Simi, Jack, Chris, Annie's here. Will, Daniel, Patrick. Hello. Maria, your sister says hi. Which sister? I think I had both of them. Bowser Jr. is the GOAT. He's up there. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, I'm going through my nerd attire since I'm home here, but this is one of my favorite shirts, actually. Thank you. Learning how to play the Minecraft theme on the keyboard. It's productive use of time, Dan. Productive. Oh my god, I'm trying to move my chair in. Oh, okay. We'll get started in a sec here as we let the last few people come in, although we'll move a little quicker today, just, because it's YouTube, so they can always watch it later if they miss some stuff. Today's music is brought to you by ABBA in honor of what was supposed to be opening night of the play. We got ABBA going behind me. It is very hard not to want to dance. Tefani, Adela always. Well, tell them I both said hello. I hope they're doing well. This is my favorite part of my B-days. Aw, thank you, Ryan. Mr. Cable. Mr. Cable. Really? Even on in a when you have the ability to type it, Matt, you still call me Mr. Cable? That's not the first time. Isn't ABBA from Mamma Mia? Mamma Mia is based on the music of ABBA. ABBA's the band, yes. Thank you, Jess. I like this shirt too. Chris, thank you for helping set that record straight. 17, we're almost all here. That's so good. Cool. Mamma Mia, very important. It's a good album too. Getting really tired of sitting in this chair all day. I don't know about you guys. Hopefully you're finding time to get up, move around, and walk. Yesterday was nice. Today, not so much. Oh. Okay, let's we're gonna move into some stuff. It's not gonna be a long lesson today, again by design. But our assignment's gonna be a little bit more in depth. So I want to make sure that I spend some time to go over that. There's Sarah. Hello. That's a weird face. Slanty face. Oh, very cool. Yes. No. Super cool. Why not the whole thing? Just do the whole head pink. Not the hair, just the head. Like this part. That'd be great. Okay, let's make sure all my ducks are in a row. They're in a row. We're ready to rock and roll. Cool. Put that there, and we're good. Okay. Cake Pops, 2 in the morning. I'm making bread after this. I can't buy bread in the store, but I have flour, so we're going to do simple bread. Probably naan, actually. I think I don't have enough flour, so we'll spare it out. Okay, let's get moving on today. Now, I'm going to try and bounce back and forth just to make sure that the YouTube doesn't lock up or freeze. It was having some issues yesterday. So, thankfully, with my setup, I can stop and start the encoder without needing to stop the decoder. And I'm so happy that you guys know what those two things are. Miss DiMattio's here. Hello and welcome. Ryan with I want to learn how to make those faces. Okay, so let's get rolling on the day so we can spend time talking about our next assignment. And with the weekend coming up, it actually works out well that you'll have some time to put into that out here making bread. Yes, literally and figuratively. All right, so let's actually, if we're going to be in the chat here for a sec, what did you guys think of the episode of Sports Night that I left for you? I know it's an older show. I misspoke. It came out in 1998, not 2000, so it's a little bit older than I thought. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. So I'm going to pause for a sec, just give you a sec to add that to the chat while I yell at Matt. Ryan, why did you think it was strange? It was actually interesting. Annie is shocked at how interesting it was. Well, I didn't think I was going to pick something that you wouldn't enjoy. It may be a little different at the start, especially if you're like, oh, I'm not really into sports. I don't really care. But once you're past that barrier, it's a very good show. Danny should not get the goatee. I agree. I want to punch Christian Patrick in the face. Well, Annie, I hope you actually watched it. That was the assignment. Gianna liked it. Maria thought it was interesting. He should get the goatee. That'll be the next poll I'll put up on Classroom. Should Danny get the goatee? It was kind of weird. I didn't really get it. Jess, explain a little bit. What did you think was weird about it, and what did we have trouble understanding? I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with it. Will enjoyed. Confusing how, Ryan? I really want to explore that. Pat just thought it was okay. Just okay. So while you guys are answering some of those follow-up questions, because I would love to hear what your thoughts were on it. Wow. Okay. All right. Sarah, not an overreaction, but very graphic. Okay. So while you continue to put some of your thoughts on the episode in the chat there, just a little background. This episode was actually based off of some real life stuff that happened. So the fictional character Christian Patrick is actually based off of a real person named Christian Peter. And the story behind Christian Peter was that he had some lack of legal issues, abuse issues, alcohol issues in college. And I want to say it was Tennessee. It might be Nebraska. I think it's Nebraska, where he played football. And he was drafted in 1996 by the New England Patriots. And people went nuts because this guy had such a storied history. And within a week of them drafting him, he one night was celebrating and went to a bar and choked a woman. And the police filed reports and all that stuff. And the Patriots were like, "Okay, we're done." And he still is, if I'm not mistaken, the only person to have been drafted by a team and then cut and released prior to reporting for that team. So he never even showed up to the facility. It's like kind of getting hired for a job, but then being fired before your first day. So that character was based on a real life character, and the scene towards the end of the episode where Natalie was talking to Jeremy in the editing room in regards to the other reporter or another reporter that came forward about some issues and incidents in the past. And I'm drawing a blank on the woman's name. But she too, Sarah something, she too was based on a real life person that, ironically enough, or interestingly enough, was a reporter for the NFL on behalf of the New England Patriots. So she was in their locker room a lot and made some complaints about players exposing themselves to her, making her feel uncomfortable, being very brazen with their nudity and stuff. And so, she just got labeled a complainer. People argued, and fans too would come out and say that she wasn't where she was supposed to be as a reporter. She wasn't supposed to be there as a woman. And so like the level of harassment and eventually death threats to this person who was just trying to do her job. And Natalie said it in the episode that she had to fly halfway around the world. This woman did fly and move to Australia for a long period of time to live and just get away from everything. She eventually came back and worked for the New York Post alongside Mike Lupica for a number of years. And I don't know if she still works there or she's left or she's retired. But all these things in this episode that I had you watch was grounded in things that really happened in real life. So I thought that was kind of an interesting parallel. Okay, Jess, I'm seeing your comment now, and I can see that understanding. No, yeah, Natalie was not his girlfriend. Not that would make the abuse any different or better or worse. No, she worked at the news station and was assigned the report to go interview him and talk to him pre-interview. Before he was on the show. So remember back in our interview project when I had you guys practice those questions with one another. That wasn't just so you can get practice. That's really done in the real world. They'll do pre-interviews so they know what they're gonna say on air and stuff. Issues with the stream. It says it's excellent on my end, so I apologize if there's an issue there. Let me just double check one or two things. It looks like it says it's coming in okay, but I'll keep a close eye on it. No, my end looks good, but I will, YouTube, like I said, was having some issues yesterday, so, all right, well, I hope that some of that background information on that episode makes it a little bit more relevant. I did want to put and discuss some of the thoughts you said in regards to the questions I had asked. And the questions were, a lot of them were based on the episode itself, but the last one was more your thoughts and opinions on stuff. And so I wanted to share that with you, what you guys had said. And so, taken verbatim from your assignment, this is what you thought. Starting with the first one, which I thought is aptly written, by the way. The media has a lot of power when it comes to controlling the flow of information, but it is their responsibility to report it effectively and truthfully. Good reporters take advantage of this power and responsibility. And I think that's really well said. The one thing that you just want to think about, and I don't think the phrasing is wrong, but just with the mindset of good reporters take advantage of this power and responsibly. And anytime you hear the phrasing, take advantage of power, it never has a positive connotation. So I think we can say good reporters, I think responsibility is key. They leverage that power and responsibility in order to be accurate and truthful and get information where other people may not. And I think it's just important to note that difference. So we'll move on to number 2. I do think the media has a bit too much power in terms of control of the flow of information. They can decide which stories to discuss, what to include, how to discuss them, and how long or to what degree. And so taking the back half of that statement, think about our news projects that got interrupted. What this person, and I kept names out of it. I didn't want to single out anybody if they were embarrassed. What this person just described is what their producers in their groups were supposed to do, right? as a producer, if you were a producer in your group, you had to pick which stories you wanted your anchors to write. Now the anchors got to pick how to discuss them. But arguably, a producer could have picked 3 stories on the same topic, and the anchors would have just written those stories. So this is one of those things where I can understand how the perception is, if they're choosing what to talk about, then that's a power that they have. The way that I like to look at it is, when they decide what to discuss, and how to discuss it, that's their job as a professional, right? And so it's much like this live stream that we're doing now, all right, or being out of school now. There's no playbook for being out of class like this. There's no rules that we're set to follow, right? Our building trusted your teachers as professionals to do what they thought was best for their class and their students, and we're doing that to the best of our ability. So to challenge that, right, would fly against labeling me as a professional worker, journalist, news anchor. These are all professionals that part of their job is to make decisions based on what their profession entails. They think is the best choice to make. That's what they're doing. So part of this, I think, can be skewed a little bit in that they've got too much power, when in actuality it just falls under the description of their job to pick and find out stories to tell and how to tell them and to what degree. All right. And then the last one, which I think is a good transition to their thoughts. The media has to report the truth because their responsibility is to make sure that the people are informed with facts. And it's very succinct and to the point, but I think it's a very well crafted sentence. So whoever wrote this, kudos. I think facts becomes the key word there, and it's going to tether to what I want to talk about next. But I'm going to pause for a second just to go back and check the stream. Make sure we're still good here. Stream is healthy. Excellent connection. Cool. Okay. Bouncing back. All right. So this is what you guys had to say. Let's flip that and see what journalists would have to say. And I'll include the link in the assignment post if I didn't already. But there is an organization. It's called the Society of Professional Journalists, and they've been around since 1909. And there's a subsect of this organization that deals with telecommunications, so broadcast news on the radio and on television, that encapsulate what they believe to be the moral and ethical code that any journalist would follow. And so this is the preamble to their code of ethics. Members of the Society of Professional Journalists believe that public enlightenment is the forerunner of justice and the foundation of democracy. Ethical journalism strives to ensure the free exchange of information that is accurate, fair, and thorough. An ethical journalist acts with integrity. And public enlightenment is a section that I underlined. I found that to be the most eye-opening part of this preamble. Enlightenment is a term that's kind of tossed around with a very broad definition, but if we were to kind of simplify it a little bit, you can kind of boil it down to the notion of making better on a personal level, right? If you are enlightened, you are given information that changes your way of thinking. And when we think about the news today, we think about information that we disagree with, that we don't like, or we choose to ignore and disregard. All right. And so for every report out there on the news today that I've seen on coronavirus updates, there's another report of, and here are people partying at a bar or on a beach in Florida. That flies in the face of logic and factual evidence. These people are choosing not to believe things that are presented to them because of their own beliefs. And my sentiment would be that choosing to not believe factual information is wrong. That is a very bad responsibility to have. So our enlightenment should come from being told information, in this case news, that makes better or improves how we think about something. And that could be on a simple level where I didn't know that and now I do. That could be on a more complex level, as in I felt one way about it, but now I've heard another argument and I'm starting to question how I feel about that. And questioning things is always okay, as long as you're using like reasonable thinking and logic. So their code of ethics has 4 pillars, and I'm not going to go through each one specifically. These are the key ones. I'll put the document that I have from them up on Classroom. It is absolutely worth a glance, especially if, pardon me, especially if you're one to not want to put a lot of faith in news media. I would say look at this and have an understanding of what journalists are actually trying to do. All right, because remember, for every good journalist or 100 journalists that do their job well, there's going to be one that doesn't, and that one is usually the loudest of the bunch. So just know that there are a lot of hardworking people out there trying to do these 4 things or follow these 4 things. Seek the truth and report it. Seek being the key word there, right? Like they're actively going out to find truth, to find answers to questions, to get information. This isn't stuff falling on their lap. They're actively engaged in that process. They're going to report on things in an effort to minimize harm. All right. Think about, again, our current situation. There's a lot of information that potentially could cause people to panic, to act irrationally, to do things that they shouldn't. Part of their responsibility is to make sure this information gets out in a way that doesn't do that. Act independently. All right. Each news journalist, they may work for a company, but they also kind of work for themselves in that it's their job to investigate, to talk to people, to fact check, to do research and make sure that what they're talking about is correct. Because if it's not, then 4, they need to be accountable and transparent. If there's a mistake, they need to own up to that mistake. If they're getting information from a source, they need to be able to reveal that source and where they got that information. Otherwise, it can pose a problem. In journalism, you're only as good as your word. And so if you are not being truthful or factual or honest, people are going to know. All right, at some point, eventually, you're going to slip up or information is going to come out. You kind of lose your value at that point. So knowing this, I wanted to get into our assignment. Again, I'm going to pause for a second just to bounce back to the stream to make sure we're not losing people. Okay, cool. We're good. All right, excellent. No need to be rude. No need to be rude. All right. I'm going to close this, whatever that is. Okay. All right. So let's get into our assignment. I want to break this down carefully just because some other classes have been a little confused. It's up on Classroom now. Just give me a second to go through it. I won't take long, and then I'll hang back for any questions. All right. But between now and the start of next class, so you actually have a long time to do this. But by the end of this weekend, you're going to be watching and critiquing a live 1-hour news broadcast. All right. The assignment's best completed if you have the option to record it. So if you have like cable TV at home, if you have a cable box in the house and you can turn on the 12 o'clock news, cool. You might want to DVR it for that day in case you want to go back and revisit it. It might be tougher to find that actual news program online, so you can go back and watch it. Every news channel will have an online stream, but not the ability to record. All right. So here's what you'll be doing during that 1 hour newscast. All right. Well, I'll get to the actual worksheet in a second. So my tips for you guys, and these will be in that doc as well. Try and find a local news broadcast because they tend to be a little bit more diverse in the types of stories that they tell. So if you traditionally watch Fox News, maybe watch Fox 5. If you watch ABC News, go ABC 7 because those are the New York and local area affiliates. Pix 11 is also a really good source for local news as well. Tune in at the top of the hour. Okay, because one of the questions I'm going to ask you is what is their lead-in story, and their lead-in is just their first story. You're going to want to know that. But if you're going to watch at the top of the hour, you're going to want to choose your 12 o'clock news, 4 o'clock news, 5, 6, 10, or 11 o'clock news. There are some options in the morning, all right, but it's usually 4 a.m., 5 a.m. There might be a 6 and 7 a.m. news. After 8 o'clock on tends to get a little bit more morning showy, talk showy, right? So like the 7 o'clock news is great, but the Good Morning America at 8 o'clock, not as great. So make sure we're picking an actual news broadcast. And then, of course, read through the requirements so you know what to look for when you're watching stuff, because it may help to take some notes and jot a few things down. So just to show you the actual assignment, let's check our stream. Still sitting pretty cool. Okay, we'll go full screen with this guy. So this is what's posted on Classroom, and it kind of just outlines what I had said with those tips in there as well, but it's going to give you some of the requirements in the form of an outline. So I don't need you to summarize all this stuff in a formal written paper. Feel free to, and that's why I put it down below. There's a blank outline down below, with the exception of the answers that I filled out in my demonstration last class. So you can open up this doc. It'll have the sections up top that I want you to complete, and you can go down below and start to fill them in here. And some of them are pretty simple. So if you opt to, go through, and we could take a look here. First question is just, this is the outline of their newscast. So I'm asking you in section 1, what newscast did you watch, channel, time, and date? And you can very simply just put Friday, March 20th, 4 p.m., ABC 7. Cool. That answers that part of that question. All right. How many stories were there? And yes, I'm going to ask you to keep count. So what I would recommend, all right, given this question and question number 3, which is why I wanted you to read through this first, and we're going through it together, is you're going to want to have 3 sections: global, national, local. Okay. And all you need to do is within that, like, tally mark. So like on a piece of paper or something, if you're seeing, and we'll just use coronavirus as our example, if they're talking about coronavirus and its impact on Italy, boom, international or global story. If they're talking about coronavirus and Trump's plan to do whatever, boom, national story. If they're talking about coronavirus and how it impacts local businesses, boom, there's a story. And just put tally marks, all right, for each of those. So for question 2, you can say at the end, okay, there was like 34 news stories. And then for question 3, how many were, or for each one, how many? Okay, so how many local, how many national, global? All right, I had a section for sports and weather, but typically that might be 1 or 2 stories per newscast. And then roughly how long was each segment? Just ballpark. All right, I'm not asking you to sit there with a stopwatch and time each section, although if you really want to, go for it. All right, what was the top story? Top story is what they lead with. All right, so just to clarify, when you turn on the 4 o'clock news and they get, boom, right into it, right, that's their top story. Okay, and the reason why it's the top story, well, I want to know what your thoughts are on that. All right, think about the elements we talked about in class about what makes a story newsworthy. That's what you're going to relate to and fill in for that. Down at the bottom, these answers are going to be a little bit more lengthy as far as your responses. So I would ask for this one. This might seem more like a short answer section. All right, so use complete sentences, be descriptive, be specific, and fill out that to the best of your ability. So I'm going to minimize this so I can bop back over here and then shoot on over back to our stream. Okay. And I'll check the chat here and, of course, answer any questions. How come when you give us documents, they're on a PDF? They shouldn't be on a PDF. Oh, the one I attached? Let me just pull that up real quick. Because the stream has been updated. Yes. Oh, the news critique assignment isn't a PDF. It's a doc. It's a Word document, which should translate to Google Classroom or Google Doc. Can you make it into a doc? You can make it into a doc. However, I have learned that Google has now restricted the uploading of docs that are not made in Google. So Microsoft has a different file extension. So when I move that up to Google Classroom, yes, you can open in a new window and create and make it a Google Doc. But traditionally, if I were to put up a doc, it says no. I tried the other day. Google's cracking down for some reason. It is slightly annoying. I apologize. All right, Annie is confused. Annie, could you be specific so I can help troubleshoot your concerns? Does it have to be a newscast from a single channel? Yes. Meaning, like, I want you to stay, like, once, if you're watching the 4 o'clock news on Fox, you're watching that till 5 o'clock. All right. So it does need to be from one single channel. However, you are free to choose the channel that you like. I didn't want to force anyone's hand and say you have to watch this channel, mainly because everyone has their preference. So you're open to pick whatever one you want. Just so if it helps, all right, as I had one or two people email me and say, hey, I don't have cable at home anymore, so watching the 4 o'clock news, 6 o'clock news is challenging. I did find that on ABC 7, Fox 5, and I think Pix 11, I know those were 3 examples I used, so I checked out those websites. There is an option to stream them live through their website, so you would just need to go on and figure out when they stream it, because sometimes it's live and sometimes it's not. So if I do it, you do it with me here, right? So like I'll go to Pix 11 and say, okay, watch live. All right. But on the side here, it's going to have a live stream schedule. So it may not be accurate to like where you are. Like you can look ahead and see, right? So, okay, Pix 11 news at 5 starts at 5, which is great. So you know, okay, I can tune in later. I think ABC had one where their schedule is a little bit different. Sarah, you absolutely do have the attention span for this. All right, and part of the reason why I chose it, one, it's an hour, all right, which I understand is a large chunk of time, so that within itself proves to be challenging, but to see a newscast in its entirety and not just online snippets of bits and pieces, I think there's something to be said for watching that. It's also going to expose you to stuff that you might not seek out on your own, because part of the assignment is asking about, their rundown, essentially, like, what was the order of their stories and why do you think they told them this way? Like, why did they choose these stories? That's part of that, right? And there's an argument to be said that in the news, much like that inverted pyramid, they're going to get their big stories out first, and then they're going to like kind of whittle down over the course of that hour. So I wanted you to experience that whole news hour. Jack, thank you for asking that question. I apologize that I did not change that in the doc. 1 page double space. Yeah, I went back and then let's edit that right now. Save. Okay. Oops. All right, so I changed that in the instructions, Jack. I apologize because I've got so many things coming over from different sources. Like this was a doc that I tweaked, and in tweaking, I probably forgot a few things. So I will absolutely be checking my email. Yes, Ryan. So just know that if you want to email me outside of like our instructional hour, like of course, don't even think, oh, it's not 12 o'clock. I can't email. Just know that if you email me like and I'm in the middle of another class, it might be tougher to get back to you right away. But I've been pretty tethered to my email for better or for worse over the last few days. Jack, did that answer your question about the critique 1 page double space? Like I said, I figured the outline would be a little bit easier to complete for you. No problem. Dan, I'm not too familiar with the NBC Nightly News. What time does that come on? I just want to make sure that some of the primetime news programs, primetime being anything that airs usually between 8 and 10 o'clock, are a little less news oriented and a little bit more human interest oriented. And so if it falls within that window, that might not be a good one to watch. Oh, shoot. I got to remember to start flipping that. 6:30. Let's check it here while we're live together. And Dan, it's an hour-long program. It's only half an hour. I'm looking here. They have their full broadcasts up online on NBC, which is good, but the nightly news one is they're only 20 some minutes, which leads me to believe it's a 30-minute program on television with commercials. So that might be one that we don't do, given it's not an hour. Unless it is online and they aren't putting it on the website until after. Well, here, I just pulled up, Sarah, if you're referencing the NBC one. Yes, they're putting it up. They're putting it up after. So like they have a whole section here on their homepage, full broadcasts, but this is from yesterday, the day before. So the one that is coming up today, they probably don't do live, but they do have some live stuff going on now. Whereas if I went to, let's go ABC 7, Eyewitness News live stream, or stream live, watch now. All right, so this is what's going on live on television. Hey, there's our governor. But you can even see down here, it says, all right, it's streamed weekdays at 4:30 to 7, from 12 to 1, 4 to 6:30, and then 11 and 11:30. The weekends obviously change, so if you do opt to do it on the weekend, you might want to check this. So they're pretty clear as to when they do their live streams. But my guess is if I turn on my TV and went to ABC 7, I'd be seeing this right now. 742 cases. I guess it's gone up a little bit. And Will, yes, you are correct in saying NBC Nightly News is a national news broadcast. I'm not saying you can't do national news broadcasts. I'm just saying you might have a more diverse collection of stories and things to see. If you do a local one, you also might have better access to it online. So, for example, like if CNN were to do a newscast, it might be really harder. It might be harder to find that in its entirety versus a local one like CNN and like they're going to chunk up their stories to put up as individual videos and articles, whereas as you just saw, the local channels tend to do their streams in their entirety. My nails aren't done, if it makes you feel any better. All right, so I know we got a little bit of time left. I'm not going to go anywhere, but if you guys want to, at this point, we'll say we've concluded for the day. I'll hang back for any questions. Please feel free to email if you have any questions as well. But we'll conclude now. We'll let the stream run for a little bit longer, so if people want to linger and ask questions, they're more than welcome to. But I would, at the very least, in the next few minutes, take a look at that doc, see if anything jumps out at you. Try and pick a time in the near future that you know you're going to sit down and do this. And that way you've already got it mapped out, so you're not just trying to find the news willy-nilly in the middle of the day or afternoon. Otherwise, we'll reconvene on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Get away from your computers for a bit if you can. All right. I'll be here for a bit to answer questions. But if you're leaving, adios. We'll see you next week. Oops, I punched my microphone. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that'll be it for today. Yeah, I don't think anyone would say no to mac and cheese, Sarah. I'm with you. Go for it. That's weird. I said go for it the exact second Evan typed in go for it. Jack, try and watch it fresh. I would prefer if you watched it live. That was also part of it, is that you're going to get it like that way. If there's any breaking news stories or changes on things, like what if the stuff you're watching yesterday, has been changed, altered, updated, or modified. And if you don't watch the news, you're going off information that's already outdated. So try your best to try and watch it live if you can. Gianna's doing her nails. That's why you haven't heard from her. She can't type right now. They're still wet. And now we'll be switching over to Mr. Leonard's bread making channel. Matt, super unhealthy there. But as long as in those 2 extra hours you're watching an hour of news and doing my assignment, then go nuts, man. Oh, potato skins? More potato skins? Which means you're already enjoying tons of potato skins. I'm jealous. I'm actually getting really hungry right now. It is lunchtime. Don't tell Matt. Matt can talk about what he likes. That's okay. I'm going to be playing Animal Crossing all weekend. False. I'll be playing intermittently while trying to figure out what the heck we're doing next week. I'm still waiting for my muffin, Sarah. How can I review a muffin without any muffins? Fine, you want a review? 0 out of 10. Not enough muffin. It's muffin time. Doom is not underrated. Doom's been around since I was a kid. It is very much rated. And I really like the Call of Duty. I was playing that the other night with my brother. Tried the Warzone thing. It was pretty rad. You want me to make a bad review video so you can critique my awful review video? Potato skins with sour cream, tons of cheese, lots of bacon. Oh, so good. It's making me hungry. Okay. Sour cream. Why is it that you can put on a dollop of sour cream and a dollop of whipped cream, but you can't put on a dollop of anything else? I want to know. Oh, I'm Sarah. Sorry, Sarah. That's right. I forgot in your interview you mentioned you are a vegetarian. Well, we can make bacon-free ones. Eating is for the weak. False. Eating is for actually if you don't eat, you become weak. If you're weak, then you probably should eat. Vegan. I apologize. I misspoke. Drinking cranberry juice is where it is. That is my favorite juice. I have some in the fridge right now. Annie, we're like under quarantine, and you want people to run out and get you club crackers? There are more important things going on in the world. A dollop of daisy. That's correct. Sorry, I was reading an email from our superintendent. Eat milk and eggs. Okay. I couldn't get. I love milk and eggs. Oh my god, cereal, eggs, fantastic. All right, let's actually reply to this email as I feel like it's very important. Hmm. Oops. Oi. Oh my god. I'm not that healthy. No, you're eating cup mac and cheese. Vegan is healthy. I don't know why vegans don't eat eggs or drink milk. That's part of what it means, right? You don't eat anything that comes from an animal. Jack, is that better? I'm just curious. Is that better? Nope, not better. Now I lost it. I don't know where it is. I lost it. That's fine. Who needs it? All right, we're going to close that assignment. Save, yes. Let's see our agenda. We'll stick with it. We'll try it. Room tours, not going to happen. This is as much of my house as you're going to get. Except on my other channel where you see my office and it's filled with toys and games. He needs to begin the line things. The line things. You mean the rule of thirds. No, my glasses are tinted yellow. You are not crazy. They're blue light glasses, so they help cut down eye strain from monitors, phones, and things like that. Wait, hold on. Let's go back a second. Sarah and Evan have a child together? Can we explain this? My opinions on an air fryer. I have one. I like it. Doesn't taste as good as cooking with grease or oil. It's healthier. It's close. It's not the same. He's my son. Evan, I hate to break it to you, but as the son of a lawyer, I can tell you that if the mother wants the son back, she's getting the son back. I'm sorry. Caesar. Like a Caesar salad would also be delicious right now. All right, I got to go eat lunch. That's what's going to happen. It's lunchtime. All right, guys and gals, please email me if you have issues with the assignment. I will be back with you on Monday. Monday? Yes. We're gonna mix it up. I think we're gonna try some stuff at home. It's different. I think we're gonna shoot some video. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. We're gonna shoot it. We're gonna try it. So be ready for that. And we'll see you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. All right. Love you all. Miss you all. Bye. Give me them potato skins. I want them. I need them. Man, you guys drive a hard bargain. How am I supposed to review muffins, Sarah? My muffin and potato skin YouTube channel is failing. It's just terrible. You know, eventually, you're going to be itching to leave the stream. That's what's going to happen. Oh. All right, you mail them. That's 4B. Let's go back to 3B. Well, let's put it there, actually. False. I just take the whole thing. I'm talking to myself as I'm doing work because I can't see what you're saying. This is what happens when you don't have an extra monitor, which is also why newsrooms or our studio has so many monitors. My bit rate is lower. Oh, it's not good. I could be here until 6 p.m. if I wanted. What? If I shut down the stream, there won't be a... No, there's no 6 p.m. You can watch the news at 6 p.m. Not as good. Okay. Post. Oh, I can do it at multiple. You know, how convenient. Post. So much posting. Oh my god, what's happening? I should get another monitor. The last thing I need in my house is another TV screen. A ferret guy? Ferrets are cool, but ferrets smell. Never a bird. Never a bird. Ew, ew, ew. Birds are the worst. They're loud, they're obnoxious. A monkey? I'll take it. I'll make him my butler. He'll be a monkey butler, and he can bring me potato skins and muffins until my heart's content. Hey, how would you guys feel? Quick 4-person poll. I'm probably gonna put this up on Classroom as a survey for all my classes. How would you guys feel if I assigned you a film to watch? There would be a written component, but I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on having to watch it, like a 2-hour movie. Because I have a movie here that I might rip and put up on Classroom. I'm just curious. Let me know your thoughts. What type of film? I just held it up. Oh, there it was. No, it's a film on a it's based on a true story. Oh, I think it's very entertaining. It has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards. Or did it win? I don't know. Yeah, it has to be good. I think it's good. I think it's riveting. It did win Best Picture. Sorry, I was just looking it up. It won Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay. It was also nominated for Best Editing, Best Directing, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor. I'm going to consider it. It's called Spotlight. Yes, Evan, have you heard of it? Yeah, Sarah, finding them continuity issues. Did you yell at the TV and go, what the heck? I know, I'm sorry if I broke you. It's the curse of all filmmakers, is that we always look for that stuff now. Not even, we don't always look for it, we just find it. Oh. If I remember correctly, Sarah, and it has been a while since I've seen it, it'll actually make you feel good about things. But again, it's based on a true story. A Pulitzer Prize winning true story. Crucible vibes? No, 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 no. No. Nothing like that. It's way more contemporary. All right, well, I'm going to sleep on that. That's a strong possibility. We might, depending on where we are with school stuff next week, it might be a way if we're coming back after next week, it might be like a Thursday, Friday weekend assignment. Maybe, I don't know. I'm so torn between so many things. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to go eat now as well. So we'll see you all later. So, bye. Yeah, sorry, everyone's saying goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye so I can go eat. Enjoy your lunch. Enjoy your weekend. Email me with questions on the assignment. More are coming in as we speak. So I'll be here for you guys as much as you need me to be. And we'll see you next time. All right, for real this time. Bye.